Welcome back to Gamer Sanctuary. It is Friday night. It's War Machine and Magic night. I do have my War Machine stuff with me, as does my opponent for this evening's game. However, we're not going to be playing War Machine just yet. We're actually going to be doing something completely different. Dustin and Jeremy both got into the Deadzone Kickstarter several months ago, and Jeremy has the entire terrain set plus 2 of the factions completely painted up. So we're going to give it a go on a batrep because we love to do things completely painted. So we're going to show off the game, try to get as much of the nuance of the game as we can on video. It's pretty cool. We're kind of feeling that it fits a nice gap between board games and minis games. So if you've got friends you're trying to get into minis games that are not quite there yet, a game like Deadzone or Dreadball from Mantic are both really good options. So we're going to take a look at the game, setup, and see what we've got. Here's a shot of the table, completely painted and assembled and ready to go. We've got all the objective markers set out on it, hidden items, all kinds of stuff. More on that in a second. We are going to be playing with the Enforcer faction. That's who I'm going to be using today. And Jeremy's going to be using the Plague faction. Think zombies in space. Enforcers are like your generic Space Marine. Tough armor, good guns, really super shooty, and just hard to bring down. And the Plague have a lot of typical space zombie type stuff. They're a little faster. They're enraged. They get to you pretty quick and tear you apart. One of the cool things about the game is that all the details for your models come on cards. For example, the Peacekeeper Captain is this total badass right here. He is a brick, but it gives you all the special abilities he has. It tells you what he can do, all his the dice numbers he needs when he rolls, special abilities of his weapons. All the info is right here. And the game itself, the starter set comes with several different models for each faction, so you can really get a lot of playability with just the basic models in a small point game. We're playing a 70-point game, which I guess is about an average size game right now. We all know how as games evolve, the point totals go up. But I've got my captain, who is a whopping 29 points out of that, but he's worth it. I have a specialist with a burst laser, high volume of fire for keeping your target pinned, and then 3 just standard troopers. They're kind of cheap for enforcers, but expensive for your general troop. We'll talk about Jeremy's stuff in a little bit here too. But I also want to show off some of the other just neat abilities or features this game has. For example, if you come in slightly underpointed, you can buy items. So I actually bought some extra ammunition for my burst laser, which is pretty cool. You also have, in addition to your some of the extra models in their stat cards, you have 2 different card decks. One is your mission deck, and that's I think one of the coolest things about the game. I've never been a fan of games where you just line up and beat on your opponent. I always love having a purpose and telling a story, and these certainly allow you to do it. The deck has, what, 10, 15 cards in it, and the missions are different. You can draw something new every game, and they are faction-specific as well. So I draw mine right here, Jeremy draws his, and neither of us know what they are. So that's why when we set up the board, we set it up for every eventuality. There are random objectives all over the place. There are different deployment zones we can be using, and we don't really know what the other person's objective is until the end of the game. So it's pretty sweet in that regard. One of the things you notice, the game uses D8s. If you're familiar with Dreadball, using the D6 and the exploding 6 mechanic, Deadzone does the same thing with 8s. And then finally, the last deck we'll talk about is the battle card deck. Each turn you draw cards from there to augment what your models can do. They allow you to do different actions, add dice to your rolls. The basic principle of the game is every time you take an action, you're using a pool of dice. You would take X number of dice, depending on the action, roll it, and you're going for successes. If I'm trying to shoot Jeremy, he would use his defense number of dice in return to resist it, and then we would compare values. It's pretty simple, and it can move really, really fast. And these are actually little command tokens which allow you to do additional actions as well. And we'll talk about them if they pop up during the game. But we saw my team, and we're going to jump over around the table and take a look at Jeremy's. All right, here's a shot of Jeremy's Plague. You can see some interesting looking models. We've got his model called the General. He's kind of a half mutant. Still retaining some of his humanity, apparently. Some of his basic troops over here, not quite completely turned. And then we got some guys with heavy machine guns here, getting a little nastier. Little plague doggy right here, got no fur. And then these two, playing stage 2A monstrosity. Get him in the frame here. That's pretty nasty looking, but nothing compared to this beast. That is kind of a scary looking model, and nothing I really want to take. That's a Plague 1A. And like I said, Jeremy's army tends to be a lot faster, especially down towards this end. They can they have some nice movement tricks. A lot cheaper. 10 points for my basic enforcer troop, only 6 for these guys. 3 for the dog, 6 again here. So you can see that the enforcers hopefully should be worth their points. I only have a grand total of 5 models, so I'm going to be seriously outnumbered and out-actioned, but I should be hoping to take out some guys every turn. Anyway, Jeremy also has, because he has guys with multiple strategy and leadership rules, he has 5 command points. Just to note that, and again, shot at the table from his perspective. Again, one of the things we really love is this modular terrain. I think half the people I know who got into the Deadzone Kickstarter did it just for this terrain, so we can use it for Necromunda or Infinity. Yeah, originally I think that Jeremy just did it originally as well, but it's a good game. It's a really cool, fast game. So we will get our guys on the table and start playing. All right, here we have a shot of my models after their deployment. One of the cool things to note about this game is that it both has a true line of sight feature-ish, kind of. So if you're used to that in 40K, it's still kind of there. But it also uses the grid a lot to keep track of things. For example, if I have a model who is, from my perspective, over here, if he is behind that wall, he is in cover, so he would get a bonus to his survive check for being shot at, and my opponent would not get extra dice for having a clear shot, unlike back over here. If you can see 100% of the model from where your model is, you have a clear shot, you'll get a bonus 2 attack dice. The disadvantage for being in cover like that, you have to be in that square as well. The disadvantage for being in that square if you have cover is that if I use a special action called a Blaze Away on him, which is basically kind of suppressing fire, I actually have a minus to my survival check because bullets could be ricocheting around and creating a lot of havoc. So you really have to kind of think about where you place. When you move your guys, you're in a square, and you can start any point in that square, any place. And for every square you move, again, you can finish anywhere in that square. Going up levels is kind of the same thing. You can go up and into the second level for a single action. And again, you get to put yourself anywhere in that square. And then you would count from wherever you are in that square to whether or not you get cover, concealment, and clear shots and things like that. So that's a shot of my guys in their deployment. And then we'll get a shot of Jeremy's Plague, kind of castled up in the corner back over here. Got one of the machine gunners in the corner there. He's going to try to get around for some covering fire. And Jeremy's putting all his enraged tokens on his guys, which basically means that they start the game already amped up and ready for fights. So they're going to get some bonus dice in fight phase. So I need to try to strip some of those off with some suppressing fire and maybe knock some of his little guys out of the game before they get to me. But again, I don't know Jeremy's objective, and that's the best part about this game, secret objectives that we both have, we're trying to get. So you see the little objective markers here, in the building there, and down here as well. He might be going for those. I don't know. He might just be trying to get his guys off my end of the table. I don't know. So we're going to play on, and maybe I'll figure it out halfway through the game. But otherwise, we'll find it at the end. So we're going to move into the actual game. I have the first turn, and that'll be it. All right, my turn. Most of my guys did sprint actions. My captain and the 2 troopers here both sprinted to get in a better position to advance into the middle of the board. My burst laser guy used a card to move up to this level, and then I'm trying to get a good camera angle. See the Plague with a heavy machine gun right there. He blazed away on him. Jeremy had some good rolls though, and I only managed to suppress him a single point, so he's down from enraged to normal. And then this guy, he also used a card to move out and then move forward behind the barricade. Had a clear shot and managed to get a single hit in on him, or single wound in on him, but the heavy guy's armor stopped it, so didn't manage to take anything out in that first turn. Jeremy's going to retaliate and come back. All right, in Jeremy's turn, all of his basic troop units right here and the dog sprinted forward. In this game, your models are allowed to use too simple or a long action. Sprinting is normally a long action, but all three of those models have fast, which allows them to sprint as a simple action, so they can actually move 3 squares in a turn. Pretty nice. The big guy is super slow though. He can only go 1 at a time. So he did that, and then Jeremy played a card on him to move an additional square. Over here, that zombie with a heavy machine gun there popped up into the tower and took a shot at my guy with the burst laser and managed to not only pin him, he suppressed him. He knocked him down and made it so the only thing he can do next turn is try to get me to stand back up. Took another shot to try to suppress that guy with a blaze away also, and he stood up like a boss. That guy right there. So, my turn 2. We're going to redraw our cards and see if I can't push towards some objectives. Alright, in my turn, I have one of my troopers come up here and check that objective. And then he he blazed away at the heavy machine gunner right there, knocked him down. My captain then came up here to grab that objective and finished him off with a massive shot. This guy, I played a card on him to give him courage, which removed one of his suppression levels, and then he used his action, the first part of his action, to remove another, and then took up a better position up on top here, so now he's got a nice field of fire. This guy went on Overwatch to shoot at anything that comes around the corner here, and this guy jumped up here to try to take out one of the 2 fast troopers right there, and completely whiffed. It was horrible. So he's in trouble because he's in charge range of both those little guys, I think, and the dog too. So we're gonna move now into Jeremy's turn. Alright, sorry I'm not walking all the way around my table to get a perspective from Jeremy's side, but I'm just going to do a quick shot of the store here. Get out of the way, you ham. We got magic going on up front. They just dropped a couple more tables down for some War Machine. Tons of players in the back over here. It's busy. I'm not going to try to push my way around and get over there. So anyway, back to this turn. This guy right here was probably, I'm not going to call him the MVP, but definitely the highlight of the turn. He was on Overwatch, if you recall, and as the first action, Jeremy's little beast right here tried to run out from underneath the building into cover right there behind that bunker barricade, and I used my Overwatch and I succeeded with triples, which meant that I didn't lose my Overwatch token. I would have knocked him down, but with my blaze away action, but Jeremy played a card that made him ignore all the loss in aggression, so he was there, and then he tried to do other shenanigans to keep me from overwatching him again a second time after he moved again, because I got to keep my token. So what he tried to do actually was mob this poor little trooper right up here. The dog came in first, and I successfully survived that attack. Then this guy right here came in next, and I survived him as well. And then that third guy came up, and I survived him as well. And I actually didn't just survive that last one, I tripled him. So which meant I got a free move. I just stepped back here, and now what I'm gonna do in my turn is blaze away on that entire cube and just suppress the heck out of all those guys in there, and it's gonna be glorious. So that was a really bad turn for Jeremy. His guy did manage to get up in combat with my captain, but we had a draw. I used my survive roll instead of my combat roll, and I took the hit like a boss because he is a beast. And then I did manage to, on the way up, suppress him again to drop him from enraged. And Jeremy played a card, got him back up to pin, and then used his action to stand up and his other action to walk into the square and attack. So that's why my captain is still alive, because Jeremy lost a whole lot of dice thanks to that trooper right there. We're gonna move into my turn 3. My turn started off so well and then ended abysmally. My lucky trooper blazed away at these guys, dropped them all down, and then I used a move action card on my burst laser, and he unloaded his extra ammo down there to drop the dog, and Jeremy actually played steadfast on his guy with the mutation. And then I killed the dog, dropped the other guy down to nothing. He came up here, finished off that guy. This is all with blaze away actions. Just suppressing until you can't remove suppression tokens, then you start taking damage. Anyway, the point is, those two guys are dead. This guy with the mutation is all the way down to suppressed. That's it. Over here, my guy down here went into Overwatch again because it worked so well the first time. But then you notice the suspicious absence of my captain. He thought he'd get brave and draw his wrist blade and try to fight off that alpha mutation. I rolled only a single hit, and Jeremy rolled 3 8s to keep re-rolling his dice. So he managed to hit me 6 times with an AP 1 attack and just dropped my guy down to, he did 3 wounds. 3 wounds got through, and that's all it took. So my captain is dead. I'm only going to be drawing a single card a turn from now on. That's just bad. So I was that close to being able to say I was going to take it, but not going to happen anymore. We're moving into Jeremy's turn 3. Take a shot from this side of the table. Overwatch continues to be really good for me. Jeremy's big brute guy came running around here to try to come up and kill that trooper up there, and I overwatched him through the door right there, and I actually tripled him and knocked him down. So he had to spend all his action just to try to rile him back up a bit. This guy though came charging across the walkway and dropped a wound on that trooper. So super stud trooper finally took some damage, and that was it. This guy came around here, picked up some armor-piercing rounds, and took a shot and suppressed my guy here. So we're going to move into my turn 4. Alright, to start out with, my Enforcer here that was pinned played a card to bump his aggression level up 1, and then used his first simple action to bump it back up to normal, and then shot down at the heavy machine gunner there and put a wound on him. I finished him off with this guy here. Oops, I forgot to actually move him over here. The second part of his action was going to be to move right here and grab that item. And it is, if I can flip it on camera. What's that? Health back. Alright, so that'll come in handy later. This guy, I tried to break off with him and hope to try to double it. I used one of my cards to give him a +1 to survive, and failed. He failed horribly, and they got ripped apart. But now my big burst laser guy is standing around Overwatch, so any actions, something's going to get shot at. Alright, in Jeremy's turn, I believe it's 4. The only thing I managed to do was slow people down. This guy tried to get up, and I suppressed him with my burst laser, dropped him back down, kept my Overwatch token, so I was able to drop another aggression marker off of the alpha down here, and this guy just continues to advance, slowly but surely. Alright, at this point I'm trying to play for some pride here to keep Jeremy from winning. I don't know what his objective is, so I'm just trying to kill guys. I had this little guy jump over here to jump on the objective and shoot at his smaller, nasty zombie dude, and didn't do anything. And then this guy decided he was going to take aim and just unloaded on him. I used a card to give him a +1 die. He got another +1 for the aim. I hit him 7 times, and Jeremy got 1 hit.
1 survive.
1 survive, yeah. So after armor and tough, it was still enough damage to tear him apart. Over here, I did exactly the same thing. I hit him 6 times with a Blaze Away to suppress him, but he played Steadfast, so he is still good to go. And I ignored that guy. So we're going to move now into Jeremy's turn 5. I figured out what Jeremy's mission is. He's trying to get guys off my table edge. So he's got his general and one of his grunts running over here. There's not a lot I can do about this guy because he can sprint as part of an action. So he'll be able to get off even if I put that guy over there on Overwatch. I can possibly pick off the general though. So that might be worth it. But over here, the big nasty went from down here using a move action card to get up here, eat my 1 trooper, come up here, but my burst laser guy, he got a draw on his survival test, so he is still there. We're going to go into my turn. This is the last turn of the game, and I'm just trying to collect some points here. Alright, final turn ended. Jeremy, I was right, Jeremy's mission was try to get his guys off the board, but he also earned points for killing my guys, so he got a whole lot of victory points for there. Managed to get 5 victory points. He did finish him off up here. And I only got 4. I held 1 objective worth 2 points and killed 2 of his specialists for another 2 points. So, all in all, great game. A couple things we would have thought differently. I would have not tried to fight the captain. I would have tried to break him off and shoot. And
3 specialists.
What was that?
You got 3 specialists.
I got 3 specials?
Yeah.
So we have a draw?
I made you guys about 2 alpha.
Ah! Ah, so there's a draw.
It's a draw.
Not bad. So what do you do in a draw? Is it just a draw, or does somebody actually win?
I think it's just a draw.
All right, well, a draw. Even better than a win. Because nobody goes home with a loser. Yay. Anyway, Deadzone, great game, awesome terrain. I'm looking forward to the Forge Fathers myself because I miss my squats. So, battery's almost dead on the camera, so I'm not going to be able to get any War Machine bat rep tonight. Thanks again for watching this one, though, and play some more, Deadzone.